Before your next thought, there's space. A silence so subtle that most people never notice it. But hidden inside that gap is something ancient masters guarded for centuries. Not power, but the source of power. Not control, but the absence that makes control possible. Today, we enter the most misunderstood element in Kuji-In. Not the element of fire, water, not earth, not wind, but the void, emptiness. Welcome back to Esoteric Lore, where ancient systems meet modern understanding. In this limited Kuji-In series, we've explored the structure, the mudras, the breath, the electromagnetic coherence of the human system. But today, we step into something far more subtle. The invisible mechanism behind all mastery. The pause, the gap, the space between thoughts. In esoteric Japanese traditions, this is often aligned with ku, or the void, emptiness. In yogic philosophy, it echoes the acacia, the field from which all arise. And in modern neuroscience, it may be the difference between reactivity and agency.
Segment 1. What is the void?
Let's strip away the mysticism. The void is not nothing. It is the interval between neural firings and the moment before cognition forms. The gap between stimulus and response. In neuroscience, this aligns with reduced activity in the default mode network, increased prefrontal regulation, and enhanced meta-awareness. In simple terms, most people live inside thoughts. Masters operate from the space before thoughts. This is the difference between being driven by the mind versus directing the mind.
Segment 2. The Kuji Secret.
Here is what is rarely said openly. Kuji-In is not about the mudras. It is not even about the mantras. It is about what they create access to. Each mudra, each breath interrupts the automatic cognition. And in that interruption, the void appears. That micro pause is where fear dissolves before it forms. Reactions is replaced with choice. Identity loosens its grip. This is why ancient practitioners could act with calm under chaos, precision without hesitation, presence without effort. They weren't faster thinkers. They were operating from before thought itself.
Segment 3. The Science of the Gap.
Modern research gives us language that ancients didn't have. Studies on mindfulness and breathwork show a fraction of a second pause can disrupt emotional reactivity. Breath synchronization increases heart-brain coherence. Intentional pauses strengthens down top-down control. In cognitive science, this is sometimes called the response inhibition window. In high performers like elite athletes and special forces, this window is trainable. In other words, the void is not mystical. It is a trainable mental space.
Segment 4, Practical Void Training.
Let's break this down. Here's a four-step Kuji-inspired void protocol. The pause protocol. Step 1, stabilize. Inhale for 6. Hold your breath for 3. Exhale for 6. Hand in a mudra. And your thought? Nothing to fix. Step 2, find the gap. At the end of the exhale, do nothing. No thought, no forcing, no visualization, just notice that brief moment before the next breath begins. Step 3, expand the gap. Gently extend that pause. Note by holding your breath aggressively, not by holding your breath aggressively, but by relaxing it into stillness. This is critical. The void is entered through release, not effort. Step 4, insert awareness before thought. Now watch, the next thought will try to appear, but this time you see it forming. This is the shift. You are no longer thinking, you are watching thinking begin. You are becoming the observer.
Segment 5, The Hidden Benefit.
When practiced consistently, this changes everything. Emotional triggers lose immediacy. Decisions become deliberate, not reactive. Social pressures lose its grip. Time feels slower. Why? Because you are no longer locked into a continuous stream of thought. You are operating from discrete, intentional moments. This is what the ancients meant by cutting through illusion. Not philosophically, but neurologically.
Segment 6, The Void and Tatsu-Jin.
At the highest levels of Kuji-In, the practitioner no longer uses the void. They live from it. This is the beginning of what we've called Tatsu-Jin, the fully actualized human being. Not someone with powers, but someone with no unnecessary thought, no wasted action, no internal conflict. Actions become immediate, clean, unburdened, because it rises from zero, the void, emptiness. The greatest secret was never hidden. It was simply too quiet to notice. Between your thoughts, between your breath, between your reaction, there is a space. And in that space, you are free. Find your place in the pause. Pause 2 seconds before a word. Pause 2 seconds before a thought. Pause 2 seconds before a reaction, an action. an observation. Just pause 2 seconds, intently aware of that space, and watch what happens. As always, I leave you with a poem, The Power of the Pause. It is not the thought that shapes your life, but the moment before you believe it. Not the emotions that defines you, but the space before you obey it. The pause is small, so small most step over it like a crack in the world, too narrow to notice, yet wide enough for freedom to pass through. In that pause, anger forgets its name, fear loses its momentum, desire loosens its grip, and you, for the briefest instant, are no longer being pulled. You are standing. The ancients did not chase power in noise, in force, in domination. They refined the intervals because they saw something most never see, that the mind is not a river. It is a series of drops, and between each drop there is sky. The pause is that sky. Enter it, and the world slows. Remain in it, and the world clarifies. Master it, and the world no longer moves you without permission. This is the quiet revolution. Not controlling thought, but discovering you are not required to follow it. And so the pause becomes a blade cutting through impulse, a mirror revealing what is real, a doorway opening into the unseen architecture of choice. What looks like nothing is where everything changes. So yes, the pause is the key. But more than that, it is the place where you remember you were never locked in to begin with.
If this episode changed how you think about the body, not as something mystical, not as purely mechanical, but as a responsive, electrical system truly capable of coherence, then I want to let you know where this work continues. Inside the Esoteric Everyday app, I've built the Kuji Master Course. It's not a belief system, it's not a ritual you have to perform, and it's not something you have to believe in for it to work. It's a step-by-step training in nervous system coherence, using the very tools we discussed today: Kuji-In, breath, posture, and your own attention. Each session is short. Each practice is grounded in your direct experience, and nothing is framed as supernatural. Because the goal here isn't power, it's agency. If you're feeling curious, you can explore the Kuji Master Course inside the Esoteric Everyday app. There's no pressure, there's no hype. It's just a place to practice what we talk about here, quietly, consistently, and completely at your own pace.
If you like this video, please subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.